megapixel HD game camera by TEC.
Camouflage, you got two clips on the side here, plus you can run a lock through the side. Look at the bottom, you've got a microphone for sound for the video, a port for an external 12-volt battery, and then on the bottom there's also a tripod nut on the back as well if you're going to come in from the back side. And then if you can see right here, you can also run the cable through the back of it to lock it a second way. And on the back, right below where the cable lock would go through, there's also slots for the tree strap to go through, and that's how you would obviously attach it to the tree. If we open it up, we got 36 IR LEDs, obviously the lens, the light sensor, and then as far as buttons go, pretty simple. Up goes to test, there's off, on. Two buttons here say menu and enter, and then there's the up, down, left, and right. If you look at the bottom right here, that's how the battery comes out. Push that, pull it out. We're going to put those in right now. It takes 8 AA's, and then we're just going to jam it right back into the bottom. You're good to go. It's also got a 2-inch TFT screen. I don't even know what TFT stands for, but this is where you can look at the pictures and then it helps you with setup. As far as SD card, right here on the side, it takes up to a 32 gig. It's got to be a class 10, so you're looking for the 10 with the circle around it on your SD card. Just pop it in there. Right under there you have the USB to your computer. On the bottom again we got the microphone, the TV out, as well as the port for the external 12-volt battery. Serial number here at the top. And I think that's pretty much it as far as looking at the camera itself.
Now that you got up close and personal with the camera, let's go through some of the basic functionality.
Let's go ahead and open this thing up. Pretty simple as far as I'm concerned. Slide this up, goes to test, slide it down to on. A couple buttons, menu and enter. Menu also serves as a back button, and then the directional arrows up, down, left, and right. Again, pretty easy. Obviously this is the display screen here where you're going to see everything. What I'm going to do is shut the lights off so you guys can see a little bit better. So if we slide it up to test, now it's going to show you exactly where the camera is shooting. So if you're outside trying to get it set up in the field, this is nice. It's obviously showing my camera right now facing back. But if we're in test mode and then we hit menu, now it's going to give you all the functions. Okay, so we're going to buzz through these real quick. As far as mode goes, photo, video, time lapse, a hybrid mode, which is photo and video, and then a motion detection mode, which is supposed to be good for cold-blooded animals, amphibians, reptiles. I'm not really going to get into that. If we go back, we can set the clock. This camera has a digital zoom of 2 times, 3 times, and 4 times. As far as pictures go, image size, 2 megapixels, all the way up to 12 megapixels. Go back, and then picture number. You can go 1 all the way up to 9 pictures in a burst. Video size, 720 up to 180 or 1080p. Video length, 10 seconds all the way up to 90 seconds. There is audio on the video if you want it, on or off. TV out type will skip, power manage will skip. Time lapse. So this will automatically take pictures every whatever determined amount of time that you pick. So right now it's at 10 seconds, so it'll take a picture every 10 seconds. Timer setting, if you just want the camera to work at certain times during the day, like maybe a couple hours in the morning or a couple hours in the evening, you can set it. The timestamp, obviously on or off on the bottom. Temperature, Celsius or Fahrenheit. Battery calculation, you can do it in percent left or how many days left. Frequency, 50 or 60. You can give the camera a name. Security enable. If you do that on, you can make a password so nobody can get into your camera. You can set the GPS coordinates of where your camera's at, latitude, longitude. There's different language capabilities. And that's pretty much it. So once you get your camera set up, you just go to whatever mode, hit enter, and then you're going to slide this down to on, and it's going to be good to go.
Okay, on to the fun part, durability testing. The first thing I wanted to do was check out how this thing did in the water. So I hung the camera outside and I soaked it down with the hose. When I opened up the housing, everything was completely dry on the inside. The next thing I did was let the camera dry out, and then I threw it right in the freezer. I let it sit in there for a couple hours in temperatures below freezing, and every time I opened the door, the camera took a picture. No issues there. After I got done with the cold, I took it outside on a hot day, and to make things even hotter, I threw it inside of the car. Temperatures in the car got well above 100 degrees, but every time I opened the door, the camera took a picture. No issues there. Now we're going to move on to a little bit more field testing. The first thing I did was walked in front of the camera at 10-foot intervals. It took pictures at 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 feet. At 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100, no pictures. So the daytime capability was out to 50 feet. As far as nighttime pictures go, the company advertises that it should work out to 75 feet, so let's check it out. I did the same thing that I did during the day, walking in front of the camera at 10-foot intervals. The camera snapped pictures at 10 feet, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60 feet. Nothing further than 60 feet, so not bad, but not the 75 feet I was hoping for. The next thing I did was put it in burst mode. I walked in front of the camera and had to take a burst of 3 pictures. Pretty self-explanatory for you guys to see how it works in this footage. Now to wrap this thing up with pros and cons. Let's start off with the pros. The fact that this camera comes with a case is really nice. It doesn't happen very often, but as you accumulate more and more cameras, it's nice to have a place to put it rather than letting it bounce around in the back of your truck. If security is your thing, a bunch of ways to secure this camera. You can lock the camera shut, you can put a cable lock through it, as well as it's got the password protection in the function, so that's a cool thing too. The time lapse is always a cool feature and works really slick on this camera. As far as the pictures go, I thought that the daytime pictures on this camera were really nice.